Abi, you've got some great folks that work for you. You're growing. What was it like? I know that for a while it was just you and Alex and maybe some interns, but tell us what it was like when you became a real employer.
Sure. So just like Josh said, it was a very interesting process. If I could, I'd want to take a step back and emphasize one point that Josh made throughout his comments, which is people are everything. Hands down, bottom line, unequivocally, the people you hire will make or break your company. Will make or break your idea, will make or break everything you've invested in. There's nothing more important than the character and the integrity and the quality of the people you have in your company. And that's an intimidating skill set to try and recruit and hire from the very beginning, but it's something you simply cannot skimp on. So from the very beginning, we tried to find those diamonds in the rough, those aces that we could really convince of the cause we were trying to work on. And it's a very unique situation because, like Josh said, we're hiring people who are the same age as us. In some cases, they might be a year or two older than us. And to put on that facade, like, I'm your boss, do what I tell you to, doesn't necessarily play out the way you want it to all the time, unless you feel like they can see your vision on an equal level. So just like Josh said, at Fracture, we try to duplicate what's been going on at some of the more successful tech companies, which is that flat, non-hierarchical organizational structure. But people understand that when I say something, it's the bottom line, not because I'm trying to dictate, but because I've simply thought about it the most, just with Alex, just as we've simply worried about it the most, or tried to understand the DNA of what we're trying to do. And that's a sort of relationship you have to lay down the foundations of from the very beginning. And that process is not something you perfect at the very beginning. It's something that I'm still learning how to do over time. And our first employee is still with us. Our first full-time employee. He was a graduate of the entrepreneurship program at UF. Actually, I take a step back. He was a peer of mine in the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation on campus, and he started as an intern. Every single one of our employees starts as an intern, and every single one of our employees is thrown directly into the fire, with the explicit disclaimer that they're going to be doing everything hands-on. They're going to be building fractures. They're going to be running around. They're going to be packaging, shipping, labeling, because we want them to get a very, very organic feel of what we do. There's no such thing as you come in, you sit at a desk, and you start typing away, you're clicking away. Of course, it differs on the sort of company you have. We have that manufacturing element, so we can do that. But from an overall perspective, we make it very clear that working at a startup is not a reasonable venture. It is not for the well-adjusted, lifestyle-oriented person. You're going into something that every day is going to be a challenge, and doing whatever we can to show them that we care is the first step of having a good employee-employer relationship. Okay.
Ken, tell us about your new venture and the culture that you're building, and what do you look for in employees? And
okay, well, a few things. I'll back up a little bit. I was talking about kind of how being at Cincinnati will open up a lot of opportunities. We talk a lot about with Simplify and Change Your Mind thing about working within a flexible frame, and people have talked today about business plan, and that's so important, just to know where you are, where you want to go, how you're going to get there, and how to stay on that track. But you've got to be able to kind of move around. And for us, we would look at things and go, that sounds fun. And if we always figured if it sounded like it was going to be fun for us, it would probably be fun for other people. And I'll go back again to the fact that it's about those relationships and taking care of those people that are allowing you to do what it is that you love. One of the first things we did with that was we started a thing called the Rock Boat 13 years ago. We wanted to thank people for taking us from a van and a trailer and 320 shows a year to our first platinum record. And so we wanted to do something that was beyond just, meet and greet after a show, or coming in and throwing up the circus tents and rolling the next town. We wanted to spend a few days. So we took half a boat and took about 800 people, and we got to spend 4 days together doing different shows. And it went so well, we said we're going to take the whole boat. So we took a whole ship. We invited about 20 other bands on there, and it kind of took on a life of its own. And it was bands that were sort of had, other national acts or bands that we loved. That our thing was, we're going to take somebody out and they're going to be your next favorite band. We had it, guys like Gavin DeGraw or Zach Brown band before anybody knew who they were. And it was so fulfilling to us to go, you see how great these guys are? And so, then we said, this works so well. What else do we want to do? Well, we like to go skiing and snowboarding. So we that by the way, that was called the Rock Boat. So we said that went so well. Let's go out to Colorado. We went to Steamboat Springs, took over Steamboat Grand, brought a few bands out there, and had people come who wanted to enjoy the same things we do: ski, snowboard all day, have acoustic sets around outside, little charity events that are going out there, and it began to build a community that started taking on a life of its own. There's a few other things we've done like that. My little brother Jeffrey, who went to high school here with me as well, he was diagnosed with cancer when he was 14 years old. He passed away just after he graduated from here. And that really impacted me. And I was 18, I was 20 years old when he died, so I was 16 when he was diagnosed. So everything that we've done, we've always looked at a component of, can our vehicle call attention to a worthy cause? And by pulling some of these artists together and utilizing that community, we've been able to raise almost $1 million for childhood cancer research. But it was by putting on these events that were not negative events, they were positive events that were all around the things we loved, and it kept spinning those things into that. To your point just now, it's where we are today. Some buddies of mine who went to high school with me here, we grew up together. We all kind of went different ways and did different things in business world. My wife said, you guys aren't spending enough time together, man. Start hanging out. She put us in Dave's kitchen. We'd go sit over there every Tuesday, no matter what. Just start talking about what we've been doing with our lives and hanging out, and just ideas start, it was like Josh said, you lock the door and things just kind of start flowing. We all started talking about our different skill set. I wrote a song called Change Your Mind, and it was about how it's not your life, but it's how you choose to look at your life. So we were hanging out going, what sounds like the perfect weekend? And that perfect weekend was pretty much hanging out like this, everyone having some good food, maybe some good music, and maybe there's a takeaway on how my life can be a little bit better. So we started incorporating things that Dave had a great skill set in writing corporate training for big companies like PetSmart, AT&T, Sears. And we started saying, how can we pull these ideas, strategies from corporate America and bring them in and make them tangible, accessible. And we started running these workshops called Change Your Mind workshops. And they went so well, we started hanging out. We said, man, we'd like to expand this. And so Dave's brother came to us and said he had a dream to open a coffee shop. And we said, right there, it's called TYM Coffee Company, right down the end of 55th Street down there. And we said, what a great idea to bring together some of the philosophies and ideas of bringing this community together, connecting some dots, bringing in products, local products, and really having a place where this community can gather, that people can either plug in or unplug. And our mission is just to have a great time doing things that matter. And so we're kind of taking all our different skill sets and rolling them up together and working within that flexible framework. We've got a coffee shop going. There's a brand new market that's opening up right behind there, where it's going to be every product in there is going to have a story. It's going to be local, regionally local, internationally, and everything's going to say, there's a story behind it, and the stories that we want to tell and educate people. And you know why we're doing it? Because it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a great time, and it's supporting other people who are having a great time doing what their passion is.